So this week we have Cavaletti canter poles on a curve, approximately 2.5 metres through the centre. We must stay on a consistent circle line through the canter poles. We also have a grid that's a simple grid comprising placing pole, bounce and one stride to an oxer. We've shown a variety of horses at different stages of their training and how you can adjust the exercise to suit the different horses. So Ashley's riding Witchwood Silver Swift here, young Connemara stallion. So just getting him very relaxed and okay about going through these poles that we're going to canter through eventually, just by walking him through. He's of course a little bit smaller horse, so he has a shorter stride. So have to go a little bit more forward in the canter when we go through these. But that's pretty good. He's a nice forward going young stallion. Very important here on the curve that we keep following the line of the circle. Common problem here on the curved line is for the horses to come in to the first one and actually miss the last one if they're trying to go on a straight line. This is definitely made for being on the circle. And we'll try him the other way now. Placing it in the corner helps a little bit with getting that line correct. Helps the horse keep coming around and gives them a little bit of a guide as to where they're expected to go. And he's doing that really quite nicely for a young fellow. With the grid again, he has that smaller stride, being a smaller horse. He's very young, so we're just going to walk him through the poles first. So he's just having a little look. That's good. And then we'll come around this time and canter him down there. That'll give us a bit of a guide as how he's going for the distances there. If you have a very small pony, you would have to adjust the distances in the grid. With this guy, we're hoping that by just riding him forward, that he'll be able to make up a little bit of distance in his stride compared to where the bigger horses might find this short. Just once more through in the canter. And yeah, it looks as if he's going to be able to do that. Okay, we've now just made everything just a small cross. By now he's pretty confident about going down the line. You can see this is a bit more forward than we would ride the bigger horses, but he's doing that quite nicely now. Just try one to the left. And for these smaller horses, that the trouble that they have in jumping is that they struggle with the one stride combinations often. So we want to encourage the ponies to be quite forward so that they can cope with that. A little bit bigger. Haven't made it an oxer yet at the back. We'll do this once or twice. If he's still looking good, we'll make it an oxer to help him stretch again. And you can see there just that little mistake now that it's got a little bit. So after the little mistake, I've just given him a bit more ground line at the second fence, the first vertical that he sees. Okay, and that was good. He still had the pole down, but he went through there quite a lot more confident. Tried to put in an extra stride. We're going to do it again. Still haven't made it into an oxer yet. Really want him to feel quite happy about what he's doing. That was good. And I think we're probably not going to make an Oxer today. He's only a very young horse. He's done that pretty well. We'll just run him through there once more. There's always plenty of time to make things more difficult as they get more experienced. And that was really quite nice. And I think that's where we're going to leave it with him today. Here is riding Hershey Girl, 6-year-old warm blood mare. Although she's younger than Harlequin, she's a bit more experienced with jumping. Quite a forward-going horse, this one, coming through the canter poles. We have made that middle one a little bit bigger for her. And we're starting her off with the grid. The jumps are up a little bit. We didn't think we need to go through the poles. She's very brave. She's not the sort of horse that does back off with things like that. So a bounce, one stride over the oxer, very straight. And then this time we'll go back on the right rein. You can see there she did the flying change. She got a little bit revved up. And these bounces can often make the horses a little bit more revved, but she was pretty good through there. That's quite good. For Hershey Girl, we've gone up a bit with the grid, and I've made the oxer quite a bit wider. That I'm hoping will slow her down. That was quite good. So we'll come back through the grid now off the left rein, and then I think this horse looks so confident through there, we can go up a bit more. Yeah, that time she was a little hurried. So we'll make that oxer a little bit wider again. Okay, so this time added in some extra poles. I've made the oxer a bit bigger and wider. I haven't gone up with the first two elements. Those are just helping her with the placing. Sets her up. They're a little bit shorter than a normal distance. And that was actually really quite good. She does want to always take things on, but that was pretty nice that time. The oxer quite wide here. The width of the oxer will often slow a horse down a little bit in the air, and that was actually really quite nice again. Very good. I was riding a 4-year-old stallion, E.S. Casello. He's by Christian and out of a Darko mare. So he's quite young, but he's going to do this little canter exercise on the curve quite well. He has quite a big stride, so he finds this distance a little short, but it's good for him to learn to back up himself in there and hold his line on the curve. He's doing that quite well. So we'll just have a change of rein now. We're going to go the other way. Nice little flying change there. That's quite good. And one more time here to the left. That's really good. We always want them to be confident about going through these things. And you can see he really wants to jump. It's still there, perhaps a little over jumping, so we'll do that again the other way. And that was a lot nicer, a lot more relaxed. Put it up a little bit here now. Made the last one an oxer, but with a cross at the front. Just a real focus on trying to keep him straight in the early parts. And that was really very nice. quite an athlete, this horse. Okay, so we've put everything up a little bit. The ox is now still slightly rising, but a lot squarer than before. We had the feeling that he was so easy through it the last time, he should cope with this quite well. And there you go, really nice jump over the oxer. We'll come back and do that once again off the left, and then maybe pop it up again a little bit more. He's doing that very easy. Yeah, really good. We've just gone up a little bit more again. He's a very powerful jumper, this guy, but does it in a really calm, easy way. Really super over the oxer that time, really worked hard over that. It was good. Connor's riding Conbrio, 10-year-old, very experienced horse, jumped in some quite big classes. So we're starting with him, with the Cavalettis at their tallest height. And you can see there that he understands the distance is a bit short. He backs up, makes a very nice shape over them when he's going through there. And it makes him work quite a lot over the back. So if you have a horse that is a little bit weak behind the saddle, it's a very good exercise for that. Trying to hold the line in there is important as well. Again, working really well over the top of his back there. I have to apologise for the light. And again, really nice. That's a very good example of an established horse doing that exercise very well. So here we're going to just run through our little grid with the fences down as crosses. He is a very experienced horse, so this should be really easy for him, but I think it's always wise to make sure they're cool, calm, relaxed about it. It gives the rider a little feel of what the distance is like. And we'll do that a couple of times, and then we'll go up a bit. You can see over the last fence there, he was a little spooky. But when he's spooky, he just jumps a little bit higher, which is a nice thing for them to do. And really relaxed about it that time. That's great. Nice and straight. And a flying jump through. I've made the oxer crossed in front. Being an experienced horse, that makes it very easy for him. So I'm inviting him to get a little bit relaxed and thinks that this is pretty easy, and then I'm going to, when I put it up a little bit, I'll make it very square and hope that he's paying attention to the rails and what's going on, and that will help change his shape a little bit, we hope, in the air. This horse is, as you can see, he's a very careful horse, doesn't like to touch the poles. And really good there. Gone up a little bit more again with our grid here. It is an experienced horse, so that should mean that he finds this pretty easy. He had to work a little bit there at the oxer. The distance is quite short from the black and white jump to the oxer, and then we've got the oxer reasonably wide as well. I think he was very good about it. We'll see if he's worked it out a little bit better in his own head this time. And that was quite good. You know, really jumped that really well. We must stay true to our basics of speed and line. Training the canter to be adjustable up and down, and a real focus on straightness. If you've got any queries, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm only too happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you very much to the Darwin Show Jumping Club for getting us to put this series of videos together.